Hello and welcome back to Tommy's Top Shelf Comics. I'm Tommy Drum by Murphy.
Hello.
We're back with this week's top 5 comics for the week of March 20th, 2024. They were last week's comics, but now it's last week, next week. So now we're here with
Last
this
week's
week's.
next week.
Yeah, it's last week's next week, which makes it this week. So we're here to talk about them. Number 5 this week is X-Men Forever. Number 1. Haunted House of X. How can you kill a digital god? What do you do when the phoenix is bleeding out into nothing? There's been questions that have haunted you since the end of Immortal X-Men. Finally, some answers. There's also been some questions that have haunted you since the start of Immortal X-Men. Finally, some answers too. Tying directly into the pages of the epic Fall of the House of X and Rise of the Powers of X comes the story of Revelation from Kieran Gillen and Luca Maresca.
X-Men's wild.
X-Men's
X-Men's
wild.
wild.
They do the one
It
thing you
really
have to
is.
respect about X-Men is finally some answers too.
Dude, there's so many questions.
In some books, you just don't
but
get answers, and you're told you're going to get answers, and then
right
you don't, and then eventually you forget, and you never got answers.
now, this is one I definitely. So like I have like a half foot in the X-Men door.
Sure.
I pull the big stuff, the main line, and I'll read here and there. And this is one I definitely am planning on pulling because I like the Mortal X-Men a lot. Just as a book in the X universe.
Yeah.
And with this, I don't have like a whole bunch of questions that like I desperately need answered, but there are some.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm hoping we get some. Plus, Jean Grey. Jean Grey, man. Look at that cover.
Good cover.
She's dealing with some
Crazy
stuff.
cover. Yeah.
But in general, the fall of the House of X stuff is epic right now. So I think this one's going to be a big part of the overarching event.
Nice. Well, I look forward to my next X-Men binge. But next up, what I'm currently binging, not this title itself, but Star Wars Visions, Takashi Okazaki, number 1.
Takashi Okazaki returns to the world of the Ronin once more. We've seen the Ronin as a Sith Slayer, but who was the Ronin before? See the early history of the Ronin and his Sith origins in this one-of-a-kind Visions special, featuring the Ronin from the first season of the hit Disney Plus series, Star Wars Visions. I will say the story or like the episode of Visions that they took and decided to use is the best one. Like this, it really is. And the one shot they did before of the Ronin was awesome. Like it's just a dark Jedi samurai story, and I'm about it. Well, I guess more Sith than Jedi, but
Sure.
It's awesome, dude. The art it just blows me away in these books too.
Yeah, I definitely need to watch that. It comes up every once in a while, and then we talk about it, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna watch that, and then I don't, and I want to.
You should.
I should.
You should.
I should.
The thing is that you could also. It is.
It's on Disney Plus, right?
Anthology. So it's anthology too. So it's like you could just pick and choose which ones you wanted to to watch. Like if you look up a episode list, like this one from season 1, and there were 2 or 3 from season 1 that I really liked, and then 2 or 3 from season 2 that I really liked. So this one specifically, it's like 20 minutes, not even. It's a good watch.
Yeah. And they are on Disney Plus, right?
Oh yeah. It's just it's Disney Plus. Just go for it. Cool. They're starting to throw rate or not ratios variants at this now, because the first one they didn't have anything.
Yeah.
So it must have been and probably picked up some steam ahead of this one too.
Yeah, I believe it. But moving on to our number three this week. Man's Best, number 1. A Boom Studios, number 1. Homeward Bound on Homeward bound on an alien world, man's best follows three emotional support pets living on the Starship Horizon, a spacecraft searching for a new home to house a humanity com- compromised by bad decisions and corporate greed. But after the ship crashes and the crew is captured, these loyal pets are their owner's only hope. Outfitted in outrageous tech, these three best friends must traverse a hostile world to rescue their owners, leaving them the only hope for a humanity that might not be worth saving. In a harrowing adventure, the pets are faced with challenges that threaten to destroy their most valuable treasure, their friendship.
I love pets in
I'm in.
space and
I get it.
like
Yeah.
pet heroes. I'm down. I would say I would definitely need an emotional support animal in space.
Yes.
Like as much as I would love to go to space one day, when they let me get on the cruise liner and just go to another planet, but like everything can go wrong. I would need a kitten or something,
Yeah,
just to, like
absolutely.
keep me feeling good.
Absolutely. You know what else makes me feel good? Finding about what's happening next in Spider-Man, because there's a new one-shot that tells us exactly what we can expect coming to us soon. In the Web of Spider-Man, #1 as our #2.
That's our #2. 2024 is primed to be one of the biggest years in Spider history, and you've only seen the tip of the iceberg. In the pages of this one shot, we're going to lay out some of the biggest upcoming Spider stories and characters in the Spider-Verse through the beginning of 2025, and you aren't going to want to miss this. Heard it before. I've heard it before.
How did we get all the things that were teased in the last one-shot? Here's what to expect.
I mean, you just got to keep on going. You got to keep on going. I mean, books like this, they just throw a bunch of first appearances at you and little tidbits of stories. And,
here's a
the
Capullo cover.
interesting
Be happy.
thing about this, the Capullo cover. Like,
here's
look,
a Capullo cover. Be happy.
If they gave me a Capullo cover for every one shot that promised to tell me the future of all things Marvel, Spider-Man, whatever it is, I'd buy it. But it's gonna be first appearances, and
sure.
For me, it definitely hits this list alone because of the Capullo.
It's true. It's fair.
When I was at Comic-Con, I asked, I was like, "Hey man, when are we gonna see a Spider-Man?" And he said the cover was already done and just waiting, and then here it is, and it's what I hope for.
It's pretty cool. But
I'm just waiting for them to give him a book. That's it. I just want a Capullo book.
What book do you want him on?
I don't know. I was hoping they'd give him like an ultimate book.
Mm-hmm.
I think something like that where, it would have some sort of like consequence too. Like not just having him take over a book right now, but just start fresh. And with the fact that they've redone the Ultimate Universe, it would be cool to see his take on some of those characters because they can kind of get off the wall.
Ultimate,
they don't have to. That would probably be a good one. But I mean, they have his Instagrams full of like sketches and stuff of every character. Like you can't narrow it down. Like there's no way to even guess at this point. But I'd assume it's got to be like an event or something.
I could see it.
Right?
I could see it.
You get a big name like Capullo.
Yeah, you put him on an
Marvel.
Event.
You put him on an event, and then you give him
that makes
whatever
sense. The Fallout book.
Because at this point now, it's all just been covers.
Yeah,
and then teased sketches. Yeah. Like I've seen the Fantastic Four, Captain America, Thor, and it all looks cool. Like it would be good as like the main line of an event.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. But
maybe they'll show it us in this. Maybe.
The world is not ready to know because our #1 is Dawnrunner #1. A century ago, a portal opened over Central America, and the Tetsa that came through changed our world. Now the world bends all its effort to making the Iron King's great mechs that must battle the Tetsa for humanity's continued survival in gladiatorial combat. Anita Marr is the greatest of the pilots and is chosen to pilot a new prototype that could change the tide in humanity's favor. An all ages sci-fi epic from rising stars Ram V and Evan Kagel.
This cover looks so sick.
It's giving Dragoda vibes. It's giving East to West vibes. East meets West.
Especially with that ghost in the cage they did too. Or ghost cage, not ghost in the cage.
Ghost in a shell.
It ghost in a shell.
East of West.
But no, it's like it looks a lot like that did. And I mean, I'm all about art like this, and it seems like it's gonna be a dark Gundam story.
Yeah, we got mechs.
Not saying that Gundam's not dark, but like it's probably gonna be pretty dark.
Yeah,
it's Ram V doing his own thing. I'm sure it's gonna be an epic sci-fi.
The Virgin cover,
but like
gorgeous.
Yeah, it just really like this definitely got me solely on this cover. The art style inside is like this. I'm all in.
Yeah, it's very exciting. But I don't know. I find it funny that they still refer to Ram V as Rising Star.
It's like, yeah, I think he's there. Put him at Rising anymore. Yeah, like I agree. It's like my man's written Venom. You know, you know, he's done all these creator owns. Like I feel like I feel like
he's on Detective Comics. Like
that, yeah,
come
right.
On.
Like he's up here already.
Yeah, he's still rising, I guess. Sure, if you want to put it that way.
I mean,
but I wouldn't. I don't know. Weird.
He could go higher.
You could go higher. You could go higher.
Now I don't think I've ever heard of Evan Kagel. Kagel. But like I said, if this is what his art looks like, then I'll check him out for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's done. He has done covers for Detective Comics with Rompi. But
oh, really?
Yeah.
Like these recent ones?
Yeah.
I'd assume, yeah, Rompi's only been on it for what, a year?
Yeah.
Something like that. Those covers are pretty. Has he done the art?
No,
just the covers. The covers are sweet.
Yeah, and I mean that cover, the main cover that you like, is his art, so I imagine that it would look somewhat similar inside.
And then looks like he did a Dune book back when when the first new movie was coming out.
Yeah, he was doing covers for it.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely in. It looks like it's right up my alley.
Yeah. But cool. Well, anything else before this week's top 5 comics or last week's top 5 comics? I'm struggling to come up with new ones.
I know we're gonna have to find a new shtick.
Yeah.
There's gonna have to be a new thing. I mean, we can't scream Image anymore, you know.
Yeah.
we're running out of this week's, former weeks, past.
All right. If I have missed one, leave one down in the comments, and I will use it for next week. Or if you just have a new shtick for us, feel free to leave that as well.
We're shtick people.
We're shtick people. We like shticks. So, until next week, we'll catch you guys later.
See ya.